To be honest, I admire you. But I've got a thorny question that really haunts me. Can pilots, when flying a plane, go out to pee?
Yes.
Thanks for this exciting interview. But still, he seems to hide something. But seriously,
It's not that simple. If someone needs to get out of the cabin, then he has to invite the chief flight attendant to control the work of the crew members in the cockpit.
so that nobody falls asleep? Or gets locked alone in the cockpit?
Exactly.
So everyone hedges each other. Okay, could I enter into the cockpit during the flight?
No.
If you thought that we were flying, I'm very glad, really. In fact, we're standing with no passengers at the airport. To get here, we went through a bunch of checks and got a pass. So don't be afraid that one day you'll find me flying your plane. The flights are controlled only by professionals. Although, if you wake me up here, then I'm gonna think that I'm really flying. Because this is a real cockpit, only hanging from hydraulic supports. It won't take off or shake this building thanks to the 10-foot concrete footing. For comparison, a 1,500 feet high radio tower has 15 feet of concrete underneath. This is the most expensive flight simulator in the world. Forget everything you know about flight simulators. Everything you feel here, you feel in a real aircraft. Jolting, shaking, and even the muscle tension down under is the same. There's only, one difference. There's no ear fluttering, and nobody claps their hands. Boris, is the map you use bigger than GTA?
Much bigger.
Bigger, huh?
The whole world, full coverage.
Full world. That's a lot of drawing to do, for those 3D artists.
The data is automatically pulled up from the space satellites. Those terrain maps we have, they're reproduced by the simulators from the database.
Oh, really? That's the way it works. During your flight, there's always a person invisible to you, the air traffic controller. He passes your plane to the other controllers, like ping pong, just one at a time. They fly with you at all times, even if you're flying in the Pacific Ocean. If you don't see where you are, controllers always do. The local controller controls takeoff. The approach controller allows the plane to maneuver among a dozen others. And finally, the area controller keeps the entire area under control. As to the landing, it's the same, but in reverse order. Each aircraft flies in its own comfort zone, and the other planes aren't allowed to enter. If one plane gets in another plane's zone, the system tells one plane to fly higher and the other to fly lower, and the pilots have to obey. Look, flying right here, I can honestly say that what I see is that planes are coming out of nowhere. They're just like, and I'm like, whoa, I can't stop watching, I'm hypnotized. And so, it's dangerous. You might get caught up in illusions. The landing gear's retracted. We're doing a U-turn. Actually, not really doing, actually just commanding to do it. I've always been afraid of this kind of turn, by the way.
The plane is designed for that. It won't let you make a roll more than what it can handle.
What if we try it?
Let's try.
Oh, the plane itself doesn't let you make it.
Yes.
Great, that's... Wow, just look at this roll, guys. Guys, this is really scary. Oh my god. We have to level off, because I'm sweating already. The old planes possessed a lot of hydraulic tubes. Pilots had to push the fluid into them with their hands to make the tubes press on the flaps. It resulted in the plane turning left, but at the same time losing altitude. The pilot had to pull the steering wheel to the left and towards himself. Then he had to push on the accelerator not to lose altitude. The A320 has no steering wheel, just a side stick. All the heavy mechanics are taken out and replaced by electronics. The pilot tells the flight computer what to do, and it makes the right maneuver by itself. The computer's aware of the loss of altitude, so it adds thrust and raises the nose of the aircraft itself. The pilot's in command. He doesn't think about details, but if he's close to making a mistake, the computer tries to prevent it. And then the pilot hears this. Oh my god. Oh my god! And what happens to the passengers in the tail in the meantime?
They're throwing up. They're probably just pinned to the ceiling.
As you can see, the computer always signals danger and prevents you from making a mistake. Plus, there's always a second co-pilot sitting in my place, who's backing up the first co-pilot. And if the computer fails, the plane activates its backup system. And if it fails too, then it would be the pilots who back up this system. Basically, everyone backs up each other. Yes, the system doesn't cheat. The one who cheats all the time is the brain. As you look out the plane windows, you see all this familiar stuff, objects moving relative to the background, like in a children's theater. Pilots, on the other hand, have tunnel vision. They look straight ahead and see the skyline, which isn't getting closer. It hangs in one place. So you don't know whether you're flying at 250 or 650 miles per hour. It's like you're hovering in the sky. That's why pilots are specially taught to move with their eyes in the English letter Z. The drivers usually cope with the tunnel effect with the help of different objects on the ground. It can be the median strip, poles, or cars nearby. Pilots don't have such objects. They have the constant risk to be caught in illusion. But what about turbulence? Pilots don't react to turbulence at all because, to them, it's like bumps in the road. Bumps in the road. Pilots have a secret. If you want applause, you have to slap the plane on the runway. And then everyone's like, oh, thank God we've landed. But if you land softly, no one claps. To passengers, a hard landing is a bad sign. While in fact, a hard landing actually means good traction on the road. Well, it's time for us to land. Boris, turn on the snow, fog, and thunderstorm, please. I want to get through this game with maximum difficulty. Where are you going? Oh my god, what the hell is that? Oh, snow. What do pilots usually do? Try to get around this off-roading? What can we do? There's nothing you can do. How about going around the other side?
There's a gorge on that side.
Oh, I see.
We could go higher, for instance.
Oh, listen, guys. My palms are actually sweating. The turbulence on this landing is really insane. So what do I do? Boris, give me a hint.
It's okay. A little higher. It's all right. A little gas.
Whoa, 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 whoa! Are you doing this?
Keep the runway.
I think that 90% of the work was done by Boris.
I didn't do anything. My hands are here. You landed it yourself.
Yes. When you're landed, it's time for another pit stop. After all, the team only has 45 minutes for everything, remember? But you shouldn't be in a hurry. There are other people to hurry for you. The landing gear is propped up with pads so that it doesn't roll away. The hull is grounded. The doors are put in the disarmed position, which means switching off the evacuation slide deployment. When you're getting off on the left side, the right side is used for refueling. At this point, your luggage is being picked up and taken to the belt, and the plane is being prepared for another flight. The rules are common for everyone, that is, the pit stop on a flight from New York to New Jersey will be as safe and as clear as from Dubai to Tokyo. Aviation is probably the only industry where everyone succeeded in agreeing with each other. Meanwhile, in one country, people drive on the right, and in another, on the left. The train vehicles on some borders have to be moved from wide track to narrow track. Even the ISS is divided into segments, and some still argue about the equality of efforts put into this object, but 250 miles below the sky is the same for everyone. States do not compare their ultrasonic Concords anymore. The race in passenger aviation has come to an end. It's time for common standards, fuel-efficient and eco-friendly planes, and most importantly, affordable tickets. Phileas Fogg traveled around the world in 80 days. He traveled through Europe by train, got to Bombay by ship, to Calcutta, rode an elephant, crossed the Pacific Ocean by ship, and took the train to the USA and another ship to the Atlantic, until he returned to his native London. Today, an average person flying commercially would need 5 direct flights and only 50 hours to make such a round-the-world trip. At any step of such a journey, everything will go smooth. Pilots are backed up by the automatics. The automatics are backed up by co-pilots. So everybody backs up each other and nobody is left alone in the cockpit. If one hydraulic hose fails, there's always a second one. If the second one fails, there's a third. And if the third one fails, the flaps will release the electric motor. That's why when preparing for the flight in the military transport, we were given a parachute. In that case, something could have really gone wrong. But here you don't need parachutes, because the whole industry has already cared about your safety. People, machines, and even animals make sure everything is safe so you don't shake, don't wobble. You always have something to eat and something to do, and the toilet is always provided with drinking water and toilet paper. Yes, when there's no toilet paper, the plane can't take off. And this entire complicated scheme works while you just sleep in the seat.
Your tomato juice, please.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
I hate tomato juice. And as always, pump your brains. Bye-bye. Disgusting.